The Nike Air Fear of God 1s are going to go down as an iconic sneaker. Their destiny is to be an absolutely fire sneaker forever. There's no way these guys are going anywhere except in the very top drawer. But as you know, because you've clicked on this video and the title of this video says, why is it that the triple black that's coming out is going to be in the shade of the questions which have already dropped? And that's the point of today's question. We will be looking at the triple blacks in close detail, looking at all the fine little elements on there, the tiny little detailing, tiny little bits of branding. There's a ton of little stuff on there that makes this a really iconic sneaker. But the questions that dropped just a couple of weeks ago are actually a better sneaker for one particular reason, and that's what we're going to be looking at in this video as we take a close-up look at the Nike Air Fear of God 1 Triple Black. This is the Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel. Des,毎日 毎日見てください. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker reviews, and sneaker news. And I'm doing it these days from home, which is not what I like to do. I prefer to get into a studio where I have better control over the green screen, better control over the light, and better control over the sound. But here in Tokyo, Japan, we're in the middle of a semi-lockdown. It's not as strict as other places like New York, Italy, or Spain, but it is a semi-lockdown. They want people staying at home, and since I can do that, I am doing that now. Hopefully that's going to make sure that the numbers stay low here, because what we're talking about here in Japan is they're just on the cusp of 10,000 cases for the whole country. And if you compare that to other places in the world where you're talking about hundreds of thousands of cases, then, you know, it's not a big deal here at the moment, and they want to keep it that way. So this is a preventative thing, but it means I'm shooting my content at home. Hopefully all of this will work out. Hopefully my dogs are not going to start barking anytime soon. Hopefully my little girl's not going to get up from her afternoon nap anytime soon. So fingers crossed, all of this will work out, and I'll be able to bring you a good video about the upcoming release of the Nike Air Fear of God 1 Triple Blacks and why I think they're in the shade of the question. And I'm going to tell you what that is right from the beginning. Usually when I do these videos that have a question like this, I go against what normal YouTube practice is, which is usually to keep the big sort of reveal at the end. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer that question, and then I'm going to look at all the details on that Air Fear of God 1 that makes it a cracking looking sneaker. But the reason, first and foremost, why it's in the shade of the questions is because for me, the Air Fear of God 1s need contrast. They look at their best when there's a contrast of one or two colors. Well, not one, it has to be two or three colors on there. And there have been a few different colorways. These guys started dropping, I think it was late 2018, and when they hit hard and people were all over them. And still those OGs that dropped in 2018, like the winter of 2018, they're still highly sought after, and they still go really high on the resale market. And it is the kind of iconic OG silhouette. And down the line, they've dropped a few other colorways. I can think of like some pretty bright, sort of sharp colors that have come as well. But the ones that really stick, with me, and the ones that I think really carry forward and sort of have a longer shelf life, if you like, are the ones that have a contrast of color. So if we look at those questions and look at them in terms of contrast, the fact that the upper itself, the sort of base upper, is a dark material, and then on top of that, the detailing is in a lighter material, that automatically gives you the contrast. But the place that I really like to look for that, and it is a distinct feature of the triple blacks, and I'll get to that in a minute, but the place I like to look for the contrast is in that double stacked air unit in the outsole. And if we zoom in on that, on the questions here, you can see it's got that icy sort of blue feel to it, which most, if not all, Air Fear of God 1s have. And then if we flip that out and go over and look at these triple blacks, you can see that the contrast is totally gone, deliberately so. I know it's not by accident, and you know it's not by accident, you know it's deliberate, because say if we look at the upside down, if we look at the outsole of the triple blacks, you can see it is a black outsole, but the air unit itself is also coloured in black, whereas in the previous ones, like I said, with the questions, it was in a sort of icy blue, which has been the main kind of standard colour for that air unit on there. But if we do take a look back at the questions and look at that midsole and outsole unit with the stacked air unit on there, you can see the contrast that the icy blue and the sort of cream or sail or white midsole gives you on there. And then back again to the triple blacks, which should be behind me here on this green screen. We'll show you that black air unit on that black midsole, and you've lost the contrast obviously, it's a triple black sneaker. That's the point. And then if we pan out from that and look at the whole sneaker as a whole, you can see it is very triple black. And any option, for example, the end of the laces or the zipper on the back or anything like that, any option to add just a little bit of color in there, they haven't taken that option. And I'll be taking you through in the second half of this video the detailing on there that does keep this as being a fire sneaker. It just means that the question is a more fire sneaker, a hotter fire, if you want to say it. So looking at these triple blacks, I want to look at some detailing on there. There's a few places where I really dig the detailing on, the Fear of God ones anyway. For example, I love the little swoosh on the quarter line towards the front of the sneaker on the lateral side. And it's just a small detail. The Nike element of the shoe, it's almost like they're saying the Nike element of the shoe is the less important thing because the shoe itself doesn't want to get overshadowed by a big swoosh on the side. Another detail I like is when we get to the back of these guys, and if you look at it from afar, again, we should be panned out on the green screen here. You can see it's all in black there, but if you zoom in on two particular places, I think I'll start low and zoom in on that Fear of God detailing that you see at the back there, black on black again. And then if we rise up from that, the zipper or the fastener that splits at the back to give you that easy access on these guys. My favorite little detail on the whole shoe, and I do like little details on my shoes. If you watch my videos, you'll know I talk about the little details a lot. But it's the end of that zipper with that Fear of God sort of molded in there. Just those little details like that, I think, elevate this shoe above other sneakers of the kind of comparable price range or style. And actually tomorrow we'll be coming back with another sort of heavy duty boot sort of stomper thing with the Reebok Alien Stomper, which is dropping for the fourth and final time. So that'll be tomorrow's video, very similar in the size and sort of style of silhouette to these Fear of God ones. But yeah, on the back of this with the triple black for Fear of God branding, and then the triple black again with that zipper, and the end of the zippers there with Fear of God branding again, just sort of reinforces that triple black kind of narrative, but also it's the little details that I really like and really dig about a shoe like this. Now, I do think it's a cool shoe. Like I said, it's a big shoe, and anytime I've seen them out there in the world, people wearing these guys, they've always rocked them really hard and they've always really looked good. It's the kind of shoe that you need to know what you're doing with your fashion to be able to pull it off. And to be honest, I don't think I'm anywhere near being able to do that. It's just not my style. I need to sort of reinvent my whole wardrobe to be able to sort of fit a shoe like this in into my kind of like rotation or anything like that. So but there are some details, more details that I truly like about the shoe though, and I wish I could rock it. And again, hidden details I'm a big fan of them. The back of the tongue, if you look in the back of the tongue, you've got the triple black Fear of God branding on there, again hidden away, sort of subtle secret little detail on there. But something I haven't seen before, which I think is really cool, is what they've done with the hang tag, because the hang tag's in a different sort of I don't know, it's like 90 degrees to the rest of the shoe in white and white. It's like a triple white hang tag. And I think that's really clever. They could easily have gone with a triple black hang tag, but instead of going for that, they've gone with white Fear of God on a white background. And it's the only element of contrast that you'll get out of this shoe compared to the rest of it, where the rest is all in that triple black colorway. So I really dig the hang tag on there. I don't know what it would look like to rock it with the hang tag on. I think it's the kind of thing that you'd want to look at, but then when you actually rock them, you take the hang tag off. But it's up to the individual who's going to fork out the multiple hundreds of dollars for a pair of shoes like these. But then the final thing to look at that I think is really cool about these guys is the box that they come in. The box is kind of really unique in that on the inside, it's kind of got a silver feel to it, and then the outside, I think it's orange. And they seem to have spent more time detailing the inside of the box than the outside. And it just adds again to that sort of narrative of uniqueness and that hidden details, the discreet, kind of subtle, really fire elements of the sneaker. They even played with that on the box, which I think really raises it up. And again, talking about tomorrow's Reeboks, the box for those guys is off the charts. The kind of box that I've never seen before. So as a total sneaker, I'm very much behind this triple black Air Fear of God ones. I think it's cool. I like my triple black sneakers anyway, but I think when you look at it in terms of all the different Air Fear of God ones there have been, I think the highest level are the ones with the contrast on them, and then a second still high level, but not quite as cool as the ones that don't have that contrast, for example, in that kind of M sort of branding around the ankle area. So for me, it is a fire sneaker. It's a cool sneaker, lots of little details on there, but it just doesn't hold up to the questions which dropped earlier this month. For now, though, that's my detail for today, my home-based content on this green screen during this coronavirus time. I'm glad that I've been able to continue coming at you guys with the daily content. Not easy when everything's shut down, you're stuck at home every single day, trying your best to keep things going on, and of course working full-time distance is, well, you know, it's an interesting thing to try and do, let me put it that way. But hopefully the numbers will drop off here and things will stabilize, and we won't see the kind of dramatic numbers that we've seen in places like New York or London and places like that. So fingers crossed Tokyo will manage to avoid that. I personally think that the one thing that might help us all out is if, like many other coronaviruses, because there are many coronaviruses out there, but many of them are seasonal, and hopefully this one will be seasonal too, and we'll see the numbers across the planet start to drop. For now though, time for me to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content. But this kind of stuff I'm trying to do, like I said, every single day, and to keep it going, and I appreciate you guys for the comments, and appreciate you guys for sticking with it and viewing this kind of stuff. I really do find it hard to keep going in these times, but you know, I'm getting the support out there, so thank you guys very much for that. For now though, it's time to do what I do at the end of every single one of my videos, which is tell you guys that I do this every single day, which means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.